The one mistake that destroyed the dark web's biggest market. They didn't hack the system. They didn't break the encryption. They didn't crack Tor. The system collapsed because of one mistake. A mistake so small, it seemed harmless. At first. For years, the dark web's biggest marketplace operated in plain sight, yet completely invisible. Millions of transactions, thousands of vendors. Bitcoin flowing like cash through a city that officially did not exist. No names, no addresses, no borders. Or so everyone believed. This market wasn't just a website, it was a machine, carefully engineered to erase identity. And for a long time, it worked. Administrators trusted the system. They trusted Tor. They trusted Bitcoin. They trusted operational security guides written like sacred texts. Never log in twice the same way. Never reuse credentials. Never touch the real world. The illusion of control was perfect. Too perfect. Because the dark web doesn't collapse from force. It collapses from routine. At the center of every underground empire is not code, but people. And people repeat patterns. They wake up tired. They rush. They assume yesterday worked, so today will too. That's where mistakes are born. The marketplace didn't fail all at once. There was no dramatic shutdown, no flashing warnings, no alarms, just small inconsistencies. A server behaving slightly differently than expected. A login occurring at an unusual time. A configuration that didn't match the mythology of perfect anonymity. Nothing illegal on its own. Nothing obvious. But enough to raise a question. Law enforcement didn't rush. They watched. They collected fragments, metadata, timing, behavioral residue. Because on the internet, identity doesn't disappear. It leaks. The mistake wasn't technical genius. It wasn't an exploit. It was operational. A human decision made under pressure. A shortcut taken once, then again. An assumption that just this time wouldn't matter. But systems remember, and systems don't forgive repetition. The marketplace's administrators believed Tor made them invisible. But Tor doesn't make you anonymous. It makes you harder to see. And harder doesn't mean impossible. It means slower. Investigators didn't need passwords. They didn't need encryption keys. They needed patience. They waited for the moment where the system interacted with the real world. A moment where anonymity had to touch reality. And eventually, it did. Servers have locations. Hosting providers have logs. Even the most careful setups still obey physics. Electricity flows somewhere. Traffic routes through something. Time zones reveal habits. And habits reveal humans. The mistake triggered a cascade. Once one layer cracked, others followed. Trust inside the marketplace evaporated. Vendors panicked. Admins went silent. Withdrawals spiked. The machine began to consume itself. And then came the silence. Not the calm silence of safety. The heavy silence of something already dead. Users refreshed pages that no longer loaded. Funds froze. Accounts vanished. The market that once felt eternal ended without an announcement. Most people never noticed, but those inside knew. This wasn't an attack. It was exposure. The myth of perfect anonymity died that day. Not because technology failed, but because humans did. Because no system survives contact with routine. No identity stays hidden forever. And no empire collapses loudly anymore. This wasn't the first dark web market, and it wasn't the last. But it was the biggest. And it fell the same way all of them do. Quietly. Predictably. Humanly. The lesson isn't about crime. It's about belief. Belief that tools replace discipline. Belief that complexity equals safety. Belief that systems can erase consequences. They can't. The dark web doesn't punish mistakes. Reality does. And it only takes one. And the most dangerous part wasn't the shutdown. It was what came after. Because when a dark web market collapses, it doesn't disappear. It leaves a vacuum. Within days, rumors spread. Forums filled with speculation. Screenshots. Accusations. Everyone asked the same question. Who made the mistake? Admins blamed vendors. Vendors blamed admins. Everyone blamed law enforcement. But the truth was simpler. No one betrayed the system. The system was never built to survive people. New markets tried to rise immediately. Clones, rebrands, improved versions promising better security, stronger encryption, more layers, more rules. They all said the same thing. This time, it's different. It never was. Because the same people showed up, with the same habits, the same shortcuts, the same belief that technology alone was enough. But technology doesn't change behavior. It only records it. Investigators already knew this. They didn't chase markets. They watched migrations, usernames moving from one platform to another, writing styles repeating, time patterns aligning. The web changes addresses. People don't. Some administrators tried to vanish. They burned servers, deleted wallets, wiped drives. But deletion is not erasure. It's just silence, and silence creates gaps. The mistake wasn't a single moment. It was a mindset. The belief that anonymity is permanent, that discipline can relax over time, that yesterday's success guarantees tomorrow's safety. It never does. Every system has a breaking point, not in its code, but in its routine. The day you stop checking logs, the day you reuse access, the day you trust muscle memory instead of caution. That's the day exposure begins. The dark web markets that survived longest weren't smarter. They were slower, more paranoid, more isolated. And even they eventually fell. Not to hackers, not to genius, but to fatigue. Because humans get tired. They simplify. They normalize danger. They stop fearing consequences that haven't happened yet. Until they do. This is why no dark web market ever truly wins. They don't collapse because of one flaw. They collapse because of one belief. That systems replace responsibility. They don't. The biggest mistake wasn't a server misconfiguration. It wasn't a login. It wasn't even operational security. It was confidence. Confidence that the system was stronger than reality. It wasn't. Reality waits. And when the mistake finally surfaces, it doesn't announce itself. It looks like a glitch, a coincidence, a temporary problem, until everything stops. By the time anyone realizes what happened, the damage is already complete. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just final. That's how the dark web's biggest market died. Not with a shutdown notice, not with arrests on the front page, but with silence. And that silence carried a message, one that keeps repeating. No matter how deep you hide, no matter how complex the system, no matter how long it works, one mistake is enough. The dark web doesn't collapse from force. It collapses from familiarity. And familiarity always wins. The system didn't fail. The people did.